Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 149. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today we bring to you a topic straight out of Sales for Event Pros, the Facebook group.
Yes, an interesting question. How do you handle it when you meet with a client whose sister's wedding you've done previously and your prices are not the same what they were a few years ago?
How do we cover that? We'll discuss our thoughts more after the break.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Hi, welcome back to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 149. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Vicki.
And today we're talking about a topic that came up in our Sales for Event Pros group on Facebook. I'm so proud of that little group. We started that, I don't even remember now, well over a year and a half ago, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I want to say at least 2, I think.
And we've had over 1,700 event pros join the group, which is pretty cool.
I'm just proud of the quality of the conversations that take place. For the most part, it's a really healthy and respectful group, and people are genuinely wanting to share from their experiences to help other people. And I love that.
For the most part, I think it stays pretty much on track, which is great. When you're managing 1,700 business owners, entrepreneurs, type A personalities, sometimes that could be a challenge. So thank you. If you are a member, we thank you for your presence, your contributions. If you're not, we encourage you to join us at the Sales for Event Pros group. Today's topic comes up, and what was the topic today, Vicki?
How do you handle it when you quote a couple for their wedding and bride goes to tell daddy how much the check is going to be for, and he balks because sister's wedding 3 years ago was less? What do you do?
The funny thing is that it didn't actually say that he balked. The DJ in his head is saying that the price is different. And dad called, he wants to talk about the contract. Now, that could be many things. It could be...
Well, in this specific case,
yes,
it could be something else. But I think the fact that he is trying to prepare for that potentially likely scenario is totally valid. And I think it's something that most of us have experienced if you've been in business long enough to A, have repeat clients from one family, and B, to have increased your prices in a noticeable way.
My only cautionary tale here is don't psych yourself out.
Yes.
And I said that in the thread, don't psych yourself out. It could be that, as one of our other friends, Matt Grobman, said, it could be just how much, do you take Amex, or it could be a stipulation in the contract, or it could be, a payment due date, or it could be a dollar amount, or it could be, there's a lot of different variables that it could be.
Okay, but for the sake of having a teachable moment today, what if that is, assuming it is, Mitch, and, how can people best be prepared to handle that question when a dad wants to know why is it so much more now?
Just simply have a conversation with dad is how I would handle it. Having the conversation of, yes, we've had a rate increase since we did your daughter's wedding. Your daughter, yes, her wedding was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was. But reality is she booked us the year prior to that. So she got that year rate, and now it's so many years later, whatever it is. And if you look at the big picture, the reality is it's only a small increase compared to the value I believe your family received. In fact, here's the evaluation that your previous daughter filled out for us. And she said that we were worth 80% of the success of the event and one of the top 3 event pros to make her day a success. So we're going to deliver. We have a proven track record for you, for your daughter, for your family. We'd love to be a part of it again, and see what he says. And
So
again,
what if he
cost of
still is
living,
like,
investment in yourself. There's all kinds of ways to explain it. I'm sorry, Vicki, didn't mean to interrupt.
no, I was gonna say, what if he is that dad who wants more information? He wants facts and a justification, that blue-red personality.
So in that case,
Is
again,
asking for that.
you need to know your numbers. Are you giving yourself a rate increase that is around the same ballpark as cost of living, for example? Are you comfortable giving them a slight discount, which was brought up in the thread as well, based upon the fact that you don't have to have that same new client acquisition cost, if you will, if you want to start talking, big business and stuff. Those are things you can decide to do or not. Maybe you offset and give a 5% discount or whatever the case is, since they are a repeat client.
Well,
go ahead.
I think that's totally a valid point, because when I was challenged by some of those comments to look in my own life as a mother of 4, yes, I chose an orthodontist that does a family discount for repeat business. I mean, we're talking 4 kids and braces. That's, that's a lot.
Our evaluations specifically say, if you ever have an event again in your family, please contact us for special repeat client pricing.
Nice. Okay.
And that's right in our evaluations for tailored weddings. So that may be something that this person wants to think about offering, is having special repeat client pricing. Whether that's a 5% discount. Now, I would encourage you to not do a 5% discount. What I would encourage you to do is to give them an add-on of extra value that is of high value to them, but low cost to you.
Like extra uplighting or something like that.
Uplighting, a monogram, something that is a $300, $400 value to them, but is absolutely, very low cost to you. Because then you're giving up profit. Every time you discount, you give up profit. It's one of those things where, again, you have to decide what's best for your business.
So Mitch, if I'm hearing you correctly, I feel like there's 2 different issues.
Yep.
One of them is being confident in your pricing.
Yes.
And just being comfortable having that conversation.
Yes.
And explaining why your rates are more. And I think that comes to play with personal confidence and knowing that your rates are fair and that you are providing a service worth what you are asking. But then kind of a secondary issue is, how do you reward family loyalty and repeat business? Are those really kind of 2 separate things?
There's 3 steps here that I would do if I was this gentleman in this case. Hold my pricing first. That's the first thing. Because your rates are rates and they're justified, and every other bride that's walked through that door to hire you since, this year just turned is paying that rate. Are you going to deliver any less of outcome? Probably not. So that's the first thing, hold. Second thing is give them something of extra value that doesn't cost you much at all. So it's high value to them, but low cost to you, whether that's a monogram, whether that's...
But again, that's more as a thank you for, being a past client kind of a thing.
Thank you being a past client. And hey, listen, tell you what I'll do. We're still going to be at the X price for your second daughter's wedding. This is my price right now, but tell you what I'll do. Because you're a past client of ours, I want to make sure you're happy. How about I give her the motion monogram that she wants? That's a value of $350 or whatever the value is for your business.
Okay. And I totally love what you did there. What you did there in this situation. I'm hearing you talk to the dad.
What did I do?
But you said, I will give her this instead of I will give you.
Right.
And honestly, I think that's brilliant, because what dad isn't going to want his daughter to get that extra gift that you're going to give? Like,
Right.
I don't know how intentional that was, or if you're just
It
so
wasn't
good at this
intentional.
that it was natural.
It wasn't.
But like, if you're talking to the dad, and I'll tell you what, I will do this for your daughter. I'm sorry, as a daddy's girl, like, I'm like, that's a really effective technique. If you were talking to my dad, he would not have a problem with you giving me extra things.
And the other thing, and then finally, if dad really wants to push the issue, before you lose the sale, you say, okay, if it's really the price, it's the issue, and I get it. We're all about bottom line in today's society and all that. Instead of giving her, remove the other thing you gave. Instead of giving her that motion monogram, whatever it is you're going to give, uplight, I don't care, whatever you're instead of giving her that, I would offer you a 5% discount, because again, we value your family. We'd love to be a part of it still. So what if I knock, $125, whatever the number is, I don't care what the number is. What if I knocked $125 off? Would that work for you? And again, would that work for you? Offer acceptance and get commitment. This is something we talk about in our workshop.
And again, and you're phrasing it in a conversational way.
Yes.
And
it's all in how you ask it.
But it's that whole, like, ask the question and then shut up that we practice in the workshop too. Because some of us in a conversation get afraid of that silence and we don't wait, especially if they're an internal processor and we're the always going person. It takes a lot of work for us to retrain ourselves to say, would that work for you? Or what do you think? And then just wait.
Yeah. So those are things that's how I would handle this situation. Again, the 3-step process of how I would roll that down. Again, to save your profit is a big thing on this, in my opinion, something you definitely should look at. So that's the topic for today, and how we'd handle that situation. And the other thing too, I guess I'll just hit this real quick, since we chatted about this, and I mentioned in the thread as well. We ran into this. The company I used to work for in Metro Detroit, Music Box Productions, when we first heard Mark Farrell's Getting What You're Worth, we were charging 2 DJs, full sound and lights, $675 for 6 hours. That's what we were charging back in the year 2000.
Okay.
And we immediately bumped to $1175.
So not quite double.
Almost double. Yeah, we didn't get the 1,200 mark.
But that's that you were $695. So yeah.
$675 to $1175.
Okay.
We didn't.
But still, that's a significant increase for someone that inquires from one year to the next.
It's a huge increase. So the reality then at that point is, okay, you have people that are calling and literally you did their sister's wedding or friend's wedding last year for $675 and now you're $1175. What the what? And so we basically just had to say, listen, we met with our accountant. We met with our bookkeeper. And they said, if you keep going like this, you're not going to have a business left. So we could do two things. We could either sacrifice the service we provide you, not have a full-time office, not have a website you can do planning on.
Or maybe go out of business and not be there.
Right. Go out of business, not be there for you completely on your wedding day. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen.
Yeah, for real.
We could sacrifice the training of our staff. We could sacrifice, all quality of equipment, all those kinds of things, right? We could either sacrifice the quality we bring to you for your event, or we could raise our prices to match the quality we bring to you for your event. We chose the latter because we like you. And we want to keep doing business here in the area.
Yeah.
That business is still in existence today. And because of many different things. And, I talked about this last week, point in time situation, right? Sometimes we think life can be the pits. And the reality is that, at that point in time, it was a struggle to deal with all those people and, going off the ceiling because of how much the rate increased. But you got to just explain it. Thank you, Jake Palmer. Again, it's a conversation, not a confrontation.
Yeah.
So I super wish I had said that quote first.
Yeah, I know. But really, and I think that's important though. When you're going into a conversation, you want to be open to what they have to say and what the other person is thinking and feeling. But you also have to have peace with what you are doing.
Yes.
And you have to come to terms with that yourself.
Yes.
And if you have that, then it shouldn't be a difficult conversation.
No, it's not at all. Not at all. So that's it for today, episode 149. I'm Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
Thanks so much for being a part, consuming our Creating Connections for Vet Pros podcast. We provide personal solutions through understanding people better. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week for episode 150 and our special guest.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.